Tired of confusing feedback from a difficult boss? Meet Chloe, an artist haunted by needs more pop. Experience her struggle with anxiety and witness a turning point that changed everything. This story reveals how to confidently seek clarity, overcome self-doubt, and gain control in challenging professional relationships. Your confidence awaits. Chloe sat at her desk, the glow of her computer screen illuminating her focused expression. The design studio buzzed with activity, but her mind was trapped in a loop of anxiety, stirred by an email from her boss, David. The subject line read simply, "Final draft." The email contained only 3 words, "Good job, but more pop." Those words had haunted her for years. Pop was David's signature feedback, a phrase so vague it was nearly useless. For 3 days, Chloe had poured her heart into the new company logo. She loved the clean lines, the thoughtful colour palette, the way it captured the brand's energy. As she looked at the words "needs more pop," her chest tightened. The anxiety she'd felt so many times before curled inside her like a cold knot. Without fully deciding, Chloe rose from her chair and made her way to the small, intimidating manager's office at the corner of the studio. The space felt smaller than it was. "Come in," David called. She stepped inside, clutching her tablet. David looked up at her, squinting against the brightness of his monitor. "It's good," he said, slowly, leaving the word to hang in the air before the inevitable but. But it's not quite there. It needs more thoughtful pop. Chloe's shoulders slumped. It was the same script she'd memorized over the years. The vague criticism followed by hours of second-guessing and frantic redesign. In past encounters, she would have simply mumbled okay, thanked him quietly, then returned to her desk to spend the next several hours blindly experimenting. But today she felt different. The exhaustion of the guessing game had drained the joy from her work. The anxiety buzzing in her chest was almost too much to bear. And yet, she realized the only way forward was to change the game. "I want to get this right," she said calmly, "and make something we're both proud of. Could you show me an example of another logo you think has pop?" David blinked, clearly thrown off by her directness. He swiveled in his chair and started clicking through files on his computer. Minutes passed. Finally, he stopped, frustrated. "I don't really have an example," he admitted, eyebrows furrowed. "I guess I just expect the design to feel more energetic. Maybe you could try making the primary colour a bit brighter." Chloe nodded, relieved. Here was feedback she could work with, specific and actionable. It wasn't a battle, but a conversation. She smiled, feeling a surprising sense of calm washing away the usual dread. Back at her desk, Chloe adjusted the logo's primary colour, experimenting with bolder, brighter reds and yellows. She tested how the changes looked in various sizes, ensuring the contrast was eye-catching but not harsh. The design finally felt vibrant, alive. When she sent the revised version back to David, his response arrived far quicker than usual. "Much better. This has the pop we need." The relief was immense, but more than that, Chloe felt empowered. The anxiety hadn't disappeared. It was still there, whispering in the background. But now she had discovered a tool to manage it. Over the next weeks, Chloe practiced this new approach in her work and even in other parts of her life. Whenever confusion or vague feedback threatened to overwhelm her, she reminded herself to pause, breathe, and seek understanding. She discovered that most people appreciated her questions, and the quality of her work improved, along with her confidence. One afternoon, as Chloe updated the company's website banner, she caught David watching her from his office doorway. He smiled and said, "You're really growing, Chloe. I can see it in your designs and in how you handle feedback." For the first time, Chloe didn't feel small standing in that room. Instead, she felt strong and respected. She realized that dealing with anxiety, especially when working with difficult people, wasn't about avoiding conflict or hiding behind silence. It was about stepping forward with quiet courage, asking for what you need, and trusting yourself to meet the challenge.